Okay. Now, I mean, Mr. Thompson, let me take you back to something that you said earlier. You mentioned 18 months within which we should diagnose exactly what this problem is, what this disease is. Otherwise...
Yes, I really want to appreciate what my colleagues here have said. And I'm not going to say something now that bears, if it is not heeded quickly, will be something everybody will remember later on when it's too late. Now, the key word here is the ability to concatenate. When he mentioned the fact that terrorism in the past, they have goals, they have this, they have that. Now, what is happening in Nigeria right now, because before you can look for a healing, you must know what the problem is. I'm going to mention what the problem is right now, and anybody who says anything else is either an agent of destabilization or an ignorant person. What we're dealing with in Nigeria right now is the product of the father of modern terrorism. And between the years, I think, 1992 and 96, he developed this model in the Sudan. And when he developed this model, he disdained Hamas. People like Hamas and Hezbollah and all those, the case studies you mentioned, he derided them, he disdained them completely, and he set up a new methodology for global terrorism. And what has made the Nigerian case peculiar, and at the same time also the key to the answer to the whole globe, is that in the Nigerian case we have a fusion of two strains. The global resurgence based on that model that he was mentioning, it's a model where you have, like he pointed out, the foot soldiers who are shooting are just, the least of the problems. It actually has an economic arm, those who ensure movement of funds across the entire world to propagate this war. It has the clerics of hatred, who are the ones who do the indoctrination that he mentioned. It also has a powerful investment in media.
Propaganda.
Who are there amongst you, but these are brilliant people who know that the major instrument, like he mentioned, is terror. And you see, the use of terror has to be used properly to achieve the objective that they want. Now, what is the objective? Because one thing he failed to mention that he didn't want to put down is this. What we're dealing with is not political, it is not religious, it is not educational, it is not social. So what is it? There's nothing new about this thing. Like I pointed out, in Nigeria is a mixture of an ancient strain, started in 1804, and it mixed up in the late 1970s with a global resurgence. We are dealing with a socio-economic, socio-political, socio-military, socio-educational, socio-judicial, and I can go on like that, hydra. It has many heads, only one body. And then it wears a disguise of religion. And its strength is the disguise of religion that it wears. Now, what does that mean? The agenda is sponsored in judicial system. It sponsors the agenda in education, in finances, in religion. Wherever you turn to, its moles over years will be indoctrinated and sent into all these areas with only one goal. So when some people say it's political, the educational arm bites them. The judicial arm bites them. So if a nation does not understand how to concatenate, everybody becomes confused. Some say, no, this is what it is, like 10 blind men who surround an elephant. And each one shouts, I know what an elephant is. But none of them individually is right. So if you understand this hydra, you will discover that in 1095, it happened. For 200 years after Pope Urban II made a speech, it was hijacked into exactly what is happening in Nigeria here. But at that time, it was the Catholic disguise that it wore. And for almost 200 years, it killed Jews, killed Christians, killed everybody. Now, some people are confused further when they say, but oh, they also killed Muslims. Nothing surprising about that. In 1807, 1809, go and look at the letter that El Kanemi in Nigeria here wrote to Danfodio's people in Sokoto. El Kanemi was a cleric. He was not only a cleric, he belonged to a people whose Islam was 300 years older than the new strain that entered Nigeria. His letters are available till today. And what he wrote was he was asking them that if this is really religious, why are you killing fellow Muslims? So the point is, the cloak in the Nigerian case is the cloak of Islam. There's unnecessary pressure on the Muslims. And if anything needs to be done right now, is that if we accept that this is the definition of this problem, we need now to be able to sit down and gain understanding of how the problem, first, we take out its religious cover, which can be done in a matter of weeks.